How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Allen Robinson has removed all association with the Chicago Bears from his social media accounts. So what does this mean? Today, in episode number 82 of Uncut, we are going to be discussing everything AR in terms of his extension. Welcome back to the show, guys. I would like to say this is going to be our first of two uploads on the day. So do us a favor if you want Bears content every day of the week, because we are literally putting out content every day of the week. Do us a favor and subscribe, and let's set a like goal on this video for 50 likes. I am your host, Chris Malpe, and today, in the first episode of the day, I am joined with both of my co-hosts, Parth and Jaylen McClinton. Guys, feels a little heated right now all over Bears social media, but how is your Tuesday going?
It's going pretty good. I slept in a little bit. Had a long night last night. We recorded pretty late. I think we stopped recording at like 12 a.m. basically. And then watched Steven Gostkowski somehow
redeem himself. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he missed like 4 field goals before that. So at least he redeemed himself. That was a fun game to watch. And let's talk some Allen Robinson here.
Yeah, same here. It's Tuesday. We're going into Soldier Field and playing the Giants next week. You know, we obviously have a lot of stuff to talk about today and later on during the week, but that's about it.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Bears fans' minds are on stuff that is not week 2 against the Giants. A lot of people worried about Allen Robinson, and rightfully so. So Allen Robinson came out late last night that he has removed association with himself from the Bears on all social media. We all saw this happen with Jordan Howard in 2018, and we know how that played out. So Allen Robinson's Instagram bio currently just has his agent's name in there, B. Parker, and then you look at his Twitter page, it just says the Allen Robinson Pro Bowl wide receiver, Detroit versus everybody, not mentioning anything about the Lions, obviously. He's from Detroit, but Allen Robinson, I think it's pretty obvious based on his social media actions that he's fed up with the organization. He wants an extension. He definitely deserves an extension. Just taking a look at some other wide receivers, we just saw Cooper Kupp haul in a 3-year, $48 million extension with the Los Angeles Rams. DeAndre Hopkins, obviously one of the marquee players that was traded this offseason, agrees to a new deal with the Cardinals and becomes the highest paid receiver in the league. Also, Keenan Allen becomes the second highest paid receiver in the league just last week, agreeing to a 4-year deal worth north of $80 million. So today we are here to talk about Allen Robinson's extension, something that absolutely everyone on this planet wants to happen. I think we can all agree with that. So, Parth, I want to start with you. We see these big-time extensions last week, 4 wide receivers. Do you think a guy like Robinson deserves this sort of money? And are you fine paying him with money like guys like Amari Cooper recently received along with Cooper Kupp and Keenan Allen?
I do believe he deserves an extension. I think he is the best player on this Bears offense, the most consistent player on this Bears offense. So he definitely does deserve an extension. He's been here working his butt off. I think the Bears fans want him back. I bet Ryan Pace wants him back, but that's at the right price. If Allen Robinson wants to become the highest paid wide receiver, it's a tall price to pay. So there's a lot of factors that go into the decision from the front office and Allen Robinson's side that we do not know about. But we want him back. That's at the end of the day, that's what we can hope for as Bears fans.
Yeah, you look at Ryan Pace, and he's someone who constantly stresses his desire to keep contract negotiation discussions internal. But today, especially on social media, it's turning into quite the day of shaming Ryan Pace. So, Jaylen, cap numbers in 2021 are going to look a lot different. We're not sure what it's going to look like in regards to franchise tags, the increase on cap space based on new TV deals and such. So do you think the Bears should pay Robinson this money? And do you think he 100% deserves it?
Yes, for both of those answers. Those are complete yeses. That's why I think Pace is waiting too long or waiting so long on giving him his extension. He's probably seeing how the cap works out. Plus, we also have to see, like, especially if Trubisky has a better season than last year. I'm pretty sure we're gonna want to give him his money or at least franchise tag him. Still got Tariq Cohen, seeing on what he has to do. We have Cordell Patterson, who's been a big a big person in the extend AR thing, and has been a great team player all around. But I'm pretty sure that's where we're waiting on. I'm pretty sure Ryan Pace knows he wants to keep Allen Robinson on his team. He knows Allen Robinson wants to stay on his team. He has expressed that multiple times, and I guess this is what he has to do to get paid, and I don't blame him for it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the cap space in 2021 and how it's been affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. The floor was originally set at around $210 million, but now it's looking like it's going to be set at around a minimum of $175 million. That's raised $10 million from $165 million. Definitely some crazy times right now, so Ryan Pace could be waiting this one out, but I understand why Allen Robinson isn't the happiest. He's also been liking some tweets that are cryptic and kind of signal him leaving, such as one this morning, late last night, saying, if Allen thinks he's a top receiver in the NFL and wants to get paid like one, dude can walk straight out the door. And he liked that tweet. He's been liking stuff all week about him being a great receiver and possibly leaving. So it should be interesting to see how this situation plays out. But, I've said it the entire offseason, extend Allen Robinson is something that needs to happen. And it's kind of been a movement on social media, just like with the Bears and Leonard Fournette a couple of weeks ago. You got to pay Allen Robinson. At the end of the day, I think he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in this league. And he 100,000% deserves to get paid. His 26 contested catches was the most in 2019 per Pro Football Focus. And there's a lot of people that look over him when you look at the wide receivers in this league. Robinson's social media activity has been questionable as it relates to, his feelings on a possible extension. I already mentioned it, but he has liked some messages that may signal that he could be on his way out of town. We've got Bears fans, teammates, and Robinson himself pushing for a deal to get done. Cordell Patterson, Darnell Mooney, and Tariq Cohen have been pretty active on Twitter this morning. However, now that the season has begun, it's difficult to see the Bears working on an extension with Robinson until the offseason comes around. We recently saw Robinson haul in 98 catches for 1,147 yards in 2019, averaging 11.7 yards per catch and also scoring 7 touchdowns. And even last week in Week 1 in Detroit, we saw AR emerge as the old reliable target we know him to be, catching 5 balls for 74 yards, including an incredible circus catch type of grab on a 3rd and long. So I want to ask you guys 2 more questions before we sign off here, Parth and Jaylen. The transition tag is an interesting one because it gives other teams an opportunity to, reach out to AR and give him a deal and possibly take him away from us, depending on whether or not the Bears decide to match that deal. It's something we saw the Packers try to do a few years ago with Kyle Fuller. So, it seems tough because some teams with loads of cap space could come in and front load a contract that the Bears would have to match. So if it's you guys, obviously we have no front office experience, but if it's you guys, would you guys franchise tag Robinson, then begin working on an extension, or possibly risk the transition tag this offseason? What do you think, Parth?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. It's a really hard situation to be in because we don't know how the season could turn out with Mitchell Trubisky as well. Like Jaylen mentioned, he could have a pretty good year, and the Bears would want him back for the future. And that's a quarterback usually will get the franchise tag more often than a wide receiver will. So I'd try to just work out an extension with Allen Robinson right now and keep that franchise tag just in case if Trubisky pops off and needs it. I think Allen Robinson definitely deserves some money. I don't know if that is called if he deserves more than $20 million a year, though. That's a steep price to pay, in my opinion. And I love Allen Robinson, but that's something I'm just going to put out there for Bears fans to debate on.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I'm not really sure if Pace is hurting himself or helping himself by waiting here, but wide receiver numbers and money is definitely increasing, and we've heard some murmurs about some possible contract negotiations going on throughout the summer. And then, you look at Allen Robinson just about 3 weeks ago tweeting, it's tough to play hardball when there's no pitch, kind of insinuating that no contract extension has been offered to him yet. So I think the Bears got to get on top of it, man. I personally would be fine with the franchise tag. I've said it in the past. And obviously it does depend how Trubisky plays. He's going to have quite the year if he wants to earn that tag himself. But I'm fine with overpaying Robinson if it comes down to it. I think he's the most underrated receiver in the NFL. I think that's kind of becoming a consensus across the league for NFL fans. Robinson definitely is a player who is overlooked, and his contributions to this team are very, very overlooked as well. So I think you try and work out an extension once those 2021 cap numbers are in. I'm a little bit worried, I must be honest myself, but I think the Bears can get something done here. I think Pace would be quite stupid to overlook this, and if he can't get something done, I think you slap the franchise tag on him, unless Mitchell Trubisky absolutely blows us out of the water this season. So, Jaylen, I want to ask you, if you're in the front office, are you franchise tagging Robinson, or do you risk placing the transition tag on him, which gives you more time to get the extension done and also can convert to a franchise tag if the season starts?
No, the last time that Pace used the transition tag was on Kyle Fuller in what was that, 2017, right before the season we won 12-4, and obviously the Packers, I guess at that time was an overpay for him, tried to pry us away from him, and Pace obviously matched it. If that was the case, I could, depending on how much the contract is, like if the team is trying to pay Allen Robinson $30 million a year, I don't think Pace would, accept that. If it's around 15 to 20 million, definitely. But I would just put the franchise tag on him. Just, don't risk it at all. Like, don't risk the team trying to overpay him and try to get him away from us. Franchise tag him, have him for that one next year so we can work on a contract agreement.
Yeah, and then finally, before we close this one off, you look at Ryan Pace's tenure in Chicago, and there's no doubt that he's built this team up from the ground, but extending Allen Robinson would be, in my mind, quite the miss for him. Obviously he's had some other misses in the past, so Parth, I want to ask you, if he doesn't get a deal done here with Allen Robinson, if he doesn't franchise tag him or get that extension done, do you think Pace could be on his way out of town? Because I already think that if this season goes poorly, he could already be looking at a decently hot seat. So what do you think? If he doesn't get this job done, what's the situation like for Pace in 2021?
I don't think this could take away his job. I think team performance is what's going to take away his job. If the Bears have a bad season, I think Ryan Pace might be on the hot seat. I mean, he will be on the hot seat. I don't know about getting fired right away next year. I think that's something that the front office will decide with that. But I don't think Allen Robinson not getting extended could lead to Ryan Pace getting fired. I don't think that's as valuable as the team record.
Yeah, I agree. Things are going to have to go downhill for Pace to probably get fired. There are people that have different opinions on Pace, just as there are different people that have opinions on Mitchell Trubisky. Kind of funny that both of them are directly linked, but I do think the team would have to do poorly for him to be on the hot seat. He's whiffed on some draft picks throughout time, but I think there's no denying that he's done a great job building up this team, especially the defense. So we'll have to see how the season plays out before there's a pristine answer to that question. But I think the seat definitely heats up if the Bears don't make the playoffs and he also doesn't get this job done with Allen Robinson, because he's definitely a player I want to see in Chicago in 2021 and definitely further beyond, because I think he's only getting better. So, Jaylen, what do you think? If Pace doesn't get this deal done with Allen Robinson, what's next for him in Chicago following this year?
Even if he doesn't get the deal done and, we play well and have a good season, he's not going to get fired. It would take a lot for Pace to get fired, honestly, after this season. We would probably have to, lose 15 straight games after last week, of course. But I highly doubt that happening. Pace has done a lot for this organization. Yeah, he missed on a couple draft picks with like Kevin White, and some might say Mitchell Trubisky and Adam Shaheen and stuff like that. But he's done a lot more good than he's done bad for this organization. I know the McCaskies see that, but if he's not going to deal with Allen Robinson, that's not going to be huge that he loses his job over it.
All right, all I need is a one-word answer. Do you guys think that it is essential to make this deal happen with Robinson?
Essential? No.
Yes.
I'm going to go with yes as well. I think this is quite important. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode number 82 of Uncut. Kind of an impromptu episode after the whole Allen Robinson scare on social media. Let's hope it's nothing. Let's hope the Bears can figure this one out, because Ryan Pace has said in the past how important Robinson is to this team, and I sure believe that he wants to get a deal done. If you guys want more content from us, head over to our website, beareddown.com. You can find columns, articles, and blogs posted on there every other day. A ton of extra content for you guys if you want some written articles to be able to check out from us and our team. If you want to find us on social media and find sneak peeks of podcasts and also have a great way to interact with us, you can find us on both Instagram and Twitter at Beared Down, and you can also find the links to all of our Instagram Bears fan pages down in the description. Parth, Jaylen McClinton, 1 of 2 on the day. 3 key matchups going up later tonight, guys. Be sure to look out for that. Any last words?
Excited to record some Giant stuff. Hopefully this Allen Robinson situation gets wrapped up real quick. It's trending basically league-wide. It's making me a little nervous. I want Robinson back, but I don't know how much it would cost. That's just one thing that I have a concern with. But, yeah, hopefully we can get the deal done and beat these Giants without any distractions.
All I have to say is extend AR. Do it soon before he asks for a trade or something like that. I really love Allen Robinson, and I don't want to see him leave this team.
Absolutely. My final words are going to have to be just do whatever it takes to make this man happy and to fix his Twitter bio. That'll pretty much do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for all the support recently. It definitely keeps us motivated to do double uploads like these, and we know you guys love as much Bears content as possible. Once again, my name is Chris Maltby. It's been an absolute pleasure to be your host. Bears fans, do us a favor. As always, continue to stay safe during this pandemic, and bear down. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.